Crystals are a great tool to help with all kinds of physical and emotional concerns, but when you first start getting into crystals, it can become overwhelming very quickly. There are just so many varieties with so many meanings and the energy that these crystals can help with. So where do you start? Welcome to the Let's Talk Self-Talk channel. I am your guide, Heather Thatcher. Our self-talk has a profound influence on all aspects of our lives, and it's my goal for this channel to help you reprogram your negative self-talk to support your well-being. So make sure you stick around to the end of this episode because I always give you a new mantra affirmation to bring with you throughout the week. I know you're ready to overcome your inner critic and start living your best life and reach your goals, so let's get this party started and let's talk self-talk. You may not be surprised when I say this, but going with your intuition is the way to go in the beginning when you're choosing crystals. When you get into a crystal store or you check out a store on Etsy, just browse, notice what you're drawn to. Your intuition will guide you towards the crystals that have the energy that you need most at this moment. And I've gone back to the same crystal store and I've gone there so many times. It's huge. And every time I discover something new that I hadn't noticed before because I didn't need that energy then, but I do now. So the next time you're in a crystal store or browsing a shop online, see what catches your eye and then read up on what that can do to help you. That being said, there are a few crystals that everyone should have, and some that I also recommend to help you with your self-talk. It's a small little grouping of crystals, and it also increases your ability to work on your self-love. So first off, everyone needs some kind of protecting and grounding stone. And the good news is they're really easy to find because they're black. Yes, other stones are good for our protection and grounding that aren't black, but right now I would recommend finding a black crystal and just bringing that one home with you, as well as the others that I'm going to recommend today. And it doesn't have to be large. In fact, a smaller pocket-sized crystal is better because then you can bring it with you. You'll likely find tourmaline, jet, obsidian, or shungite at most crystal shops. Especially right now, shungite has become much more popular. And all of them will work really well to help you ground and protect both your energy of your body as well as your home. There's one more crystal I'd like to recommend for you before I get into the crystals for self-talk, and that is a clear quartz. And don't feel like you have to go for anything fancy right now. There's all kinds of clear quartzes. We'll talk about choosing your master crystal another time. But a simple pocket-sized clear quartz is excellent at clearing your energy as well as charging the other crystals around it. So crystals that I recommend to heal negative self-talk are aragonite, which is a sort of golden brown kind of crystal. It's very spiky, lots of little things. That one is really good for healing and balancing your emotional body. Rhodochrosite is a really good self-love enhancing crystal. Pink calcite is excellent for emotional healing. Prehnite is really good for inner peace and a union of the heart and the mind. Kunzite is very powerful for emotional healing and activation of your heart's knowing. And then pink tourmaline is for your heart chakra. It's for healing, strengthening the ability to speak up and share emotions from your heart. So the great news is that you can easily create your own self-love and negative self-talk healing crystal package for about $15, which is doable, right? But then how do you care for your crystals? Now you've been to a crystal store, now you have some beautiful gemstones, but what? How do you keep their energy clear and keep them looking great and brand new and just as lovely as when you pick them up? I'm going to wrap up this video by sharing several ways to clear and clean and charge your crystals. But first, you need to know the answer to these two questions. Is it a hard or soft stone? Sometimes crystals are softer than others, and some like fluorite and malachite are all on the more fragile side of things and will become damaged and chipped and break if they're in the same pocket or bag as some harder stones. All of the self-talk crystals I've recommended to you here are safe to be in a bag together in your pocket, but if you've also purchased others, it would be good to know if they're going to get damaged as you're carrying them around. And so I'll put a link in the description below so you can check out to see where your gemstones fall on the diamond hardness scale to know if they'll hold up as pocket crystals. The next question which you need to ask is it water soluble? Some crystals like selenite, calcite, and lapis lazuli will dissolve in water, so naturally you want to avoid clearing your crystals in water if they're going to dissolve. A general rule of thumb is it ends in ITE, or it has a diamond hardness rating of less than 6. It probably shouldn't be exposed to water. Water will sometimes remove the shine on polished stones or even cause them to disintegrate and fall apart, which is not exactly what you're going for. So how can you heal the energy from these crystals if you can't wash them underwater? So there's a few exceptions to these rules. Amulet stones and amber, for example, don't actually need clearing on a regular basis. But in general, you want to clear the energy from your crystals regularly. One of the ways that crystals work is they absorb negativity or unhelpful energy from around you and provide helpful energy that they're best suited for. So after a while, this negative or unhelpful energy starts to bog down these crystals and make it harder for them to help you. And this is why you'll want to clear all this negativity from your crystals regularly. And in general, I would say once a month, but it also depends on where you work, who you interact with, and what comes up during your day. So for example, I was walking by someone on the street and they just kind of gave me the willies. They had a really weird vibe and I could sense from a block away. It was just so strong. And when we got close enough, he reached out to touch my shoulder, and immediately I knew that his energy was carrying something substantial and that he had passed it on to me. And after clearing my energy with some Reiki and some smudging, I also cleared the crystals that I was carrying that day, even though I had just done this a few days before. So trust your intuition. If you're getting this little nagging idea that you should clear your crystals tonight after work, trust it. When it comes to crystals, you have 4 main options for clearing them. You can put crystals underwater as long as they're not water soluble. You can place your crystals in a bowl of salt and leave them overnight. And yes, table salt is perfect. Salt is very cleansing. You can also put your crystals on the windowsill in the sunlight and leave them there for a few hours to charge and clear. And you can also put your crystals on the windowsill on one of the 3 nights surrounding the full moon. You can mix it up, rotate through, give your crystals a chance to experience all of these cleansing and charging techniques, except be careful with the water soluble option. And I know I keep saying this, but I just don't want you to damage your crystals by running them underwater. Our first selenite sphere will never be the same, unfortunately, because we ran it underwater. And I just really don't want you to learn the lesson the hard way. I don't want that to happen to you. So that being said, clear quartz needs to be cleansed in water regularly, not only for energetic reasons, but also because it shows the fingerprints and smudges so much more quickly than other crystals. So you've really got to wipe these ones off. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, then please help me get the word out. Take a screenshot right now on your phone and share it to your Instagram stories or your Facebook with your #1 takeaway from this episode. Don't forget to tag me in your post at Self Talk Remedy for a chance for a shout out here on the channel and for an entry into our monthly draw to win some amazing prizes. Last month we gave away a Reiki healing session. The time before that I gave away a self-taught crystal healing package. There's all kinds of great things that I give away. At the end of every episode I leave you with a mantra affirmation for the week, and so this week the mantra that I have for you is this: I invite the energy of these crystals to help support me. And that's a really good thing you can say every time you need a little boost of energy from those crystals you're holding in your pocket. I wish you all the peace, love, and light this week, beautiful soul, and I will see you next Tuesday.